Hi everyone, welcome back to the 100-day series of Heal Your Inner Child. And today we are on day 52nd. And I am Anisha Dutt, and I'm a healer and a life coach. And I have been working with people from all over the world for over a decade. And I am very happy to present um, this this topic of healing because it's very close to my heart. I have worked a lot on my inner child, and when I was looking for this particular topic, there were not many authentic resources, I would say, and it took me a while to understand, the whole process, what it really means, and I just felt like this is such a deeply nourishing, you know, um, healing modality that I think everybody should have access to, and everybody should be working with their inner children, and that's the reason why I created this series. So today we're going to work on a little more on our inner parent. If you would have gone to the 51st video, you would have seen that we introduced our inner parent on that day. And today, I actually want to give you an example of if you had an ideal parent, right, growing up, and you got the love and affection, and of course, all the things that you craved for or wanted, and you had a very balanced upbringing, then you probably wouldn't be watching this video, right? So if there were certain issues, right, growing up, or where you feel or where you felt like your parents were lacking in a certain area, or they were not available, or even if they were there, they were whatever XYZ reasons, right? Now, what happens is that one of the example, I'll give you my example, is that then you start to idealize maybe someone else's parents, right? Or you start thinking, or even if you watch a film or um, something on television, whatever, wherever, and you see a version of an adult, right? A parent being loving, being caring, being very secure, being available for their kids, all of that, then you start to feel like this is the ideal version of a parent, this is how a father should be, this is how a mother should be, right? So I actually want you to, before you start the exercise today, think of that ideal version, whether it was fictional, whether you actually had another relative or you saw somebody like that, your friends, parents, whatever. Just think of those traits that you really wanted that your parents should have had, right? And write it down. So today, before you begin the exercise, this is what I want you to do because there's definitely a version of your parents in your head which you feel like if it had been that way, it would have been beautiful, right? So this would probably include things like, my parents being available, my parents being loving, my parents being unconditionally, uh, you know, trustful of me based on whatever I mean, my parents, or me being very open with my parents, me being able to share everything with my parents, or even if there was an issue, I knew my parents would be there for me, would help me get out of whatever it is, right? My parents would support me, unconditional support. So, things like that, based on your experience, based on what you wanted uh, and did not get, right? Write that down. Once that is done, now I want to talk about what we are going to do today. So you understood that this reparenting is a part of you, isn't it? This is the inner child, part of you, many inner children, part of you. There is a parent that is also a part of you. Okay, we already went through this. Watch yesterday's video, right? Now we want to. So this is kind of like character building, okay? Like when you're writing a book, suppose, what do people do? Or even if you watch a movie, you see a character, right? A character who's, say, somebody's father. You give it a name, it looks a certain way, it lives somewhere, it has relationships, But then that father also has to have some sort of a personality, right? Like, how do they talk to people? How do they meet people? How do they greet people? When they're in with their wife, how do they behave? When they're with their children, how do they behave? How do they behave in the public, right? So it they need to have some character and they need to have a personality, right? So what we are doing here is we are actually building a personality for your inner parent. And based on all the information that we've got, based on your ideal version of the parent, we are going to give it a voice today. Your inner parent will get the voice of the ideal parent that you wanted. And if you zoom out, what are we doing? We are actually reparenting our own selves to become that version that we idealized in other people's parents, and become that version of a parent to our own selves. That's what we're doing. Yeah. Folks, I it took me a long time to understand the healing process of inner child, and I think it took me longer to believe in it. But when I did, I saw the power in it, I saw the depth in it, I saw great transformations. So for anybody who has even an iota of doubt about this process, I would say it's always good to be curious. Do not believe anyone. Try it out yourself and see for, be your own judge based on your own experience. Because it's okay to question me, it's okay to question the process, it's okay to question whatever, right? Based on your conditioning. But be curious and try at least once to see what it is. And even if you don't resonate, then it's fine. But at least if you feel like you've done the whole 100 days and you haven't seen a shift, then it's okay. But if you've sincerely done it with curiosity, there will be an amazing, shift in we. I mean, I'm already experiencing it based on all the work that we've put in. Yeah. So let's get into the practice now. So I hope you have your list of things that you want, right? In your ideal version of a parent. Now close your eyes. Take three long, deep breaths. And I want you to start witnessing the inner parent in you. How, when it speaks to you, what does it say? For example, mine can be very harsh, and it always thinks that I'm not good enough, or um, I'm not doing enough, right? So, what is your inner parent saying today? Of course, there is an inner child, but I want you to connect with your inner parent, that adult version that keeps telling you you are not doing this, you're not doing that. What is it? Though that critical voice, what is it saying? Is it harsh? Is it rushed? Is it gentle today? Is it distant? Is it giving you cold treatment? What's happening? Just observe without judgment. And now I want you to just imagine this parent that's inside you, that's very harsh, whatever is negative, right? This negative version becoming smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and going at a distance. Okay. And now I want you to bring in this new inner parent, new version, and this one is the ideal version, right? Take a deep breath in, and I want you to replace with that older version this new one, right? And now I want you to imagine this new version saying things to you based on your points. Maybe it's loving, maybe this new version is calm, patient, it's very wise, right? How would this new version speak to you? What would they say differently? So, if the earlier version, for example, for me was saying that you don't do enough, This new version will probably tell me, I love you the way you are. Don't be so harsh on yourself. Yeah, something like that. So take a few minutes and create a conversation with this inner parent, okay? Something like, you are safe even when things are uncertain. I'm there for you. Yeah. Or you don't have to rush. Or you're allowed to rest. It's okay to take a day off, right? And while you're imagining this conversation, just write your own, write your own dialogue. Something that feels nourishing to your inner child. Write all those things that your inner parent is telling you. And that's so loving, deeply nourishing for your inner child. Take 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes and do this exercise. Then, once you're done with it, place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Breathe slowly and say to your inner child, I am loved, I am safe, I am complete. I am loved, I am safe, I am complete. And the journaling prompt for today would be, when my inner child feels afraid or alone, what would my inner parents say or do to comfort them? Yeah, and write that down. Journal on it today, right? And then slowly, once you're done with that, you can anchor this affirmation for today. My inner parent speaks with calmness, wisdom, and love. My inner parent speaks with calmness, wisdom, and love. I choose safety over fear and compassion over criticism. And with that, take a deep breath in and we conclude today's practice. I will see you all tomorrow. Till then, signing off, Anisha Dutt from Zaria Healing.